Non moi c'est Yasmin Nicolas.
Non moi c'est Yasmin Nicolas.
Mon sorti les îles Caraïbes.
Ma sorti les îles Caraïbes.
Sainte-Lucie.
Sainte-Lucie.
Et puis Dominique.
Et puis Dominique.
Projet Tala.
Projet Tala.
C'est un projet créole.
C'est un projet créole.
Mon carapon parler.
Mon carapon parler.
C'est pour ça.
C'est pour ça.
Petite film là ça.
Petite film là ça.
Appelé métaphore.
Appelé métaphore.
On nous aller.
On nous aller.
On nous ouais.
On nous ouais.
Mon carapon montre les autres ça.
Mon carapon montre les autres ça. Hey Grandad, how are you?
Bon, bien, merci.
Can I ask you about your culture in Dominica?
Vivement en Dominique, a été tellement bon d'être à la manière de monter là. Mais actuellement, il pas bon pièce pour moi-même.
Okay. What do you think of the Creole language?
Kweyol, c'est une langue qui est aisée pour tout le monde parler. Tout le monde qui a parlé patois, qui comprend.
Okay. How did you learn it?
C'est comme on monte ni hod, ça qui plus grand que moi. Et moi apprendre.
Okay. So as much as I couldn't speak it when I was younger, do you think that you could still teach me now?
Repeat that again.
Do you think that you could teach me now?
Ouais, pas j'ai, mais moi ça mucho, ça va apprendre, ça me connaître.
What do you miss about Dominica?
Moi marché en chai bagay en Dominique, hein. Moi marché autant Dominique. Chaléa. Ou pas ni gros coat capoté, gros jacket capoté en là. Même si la mal, vous voyez, mais vivre là pas tellement mauvais.
How was it growing up as a young boy?
Pardon?
How was it growing up as a young boy?
Oh, comment tu as profité ou dire quand je ne bail? Ah, il pas aisé, mais on y pour déterminer pour vivre.
Okay.
Some of this you might not answer, determine that.
So, if you had to, which language do you feel more comfortable speaking in, Creole or English?
Dépend là sur qui me regarde parler.
Okay.
Dépend là sur qui me regarde parler pas. Si moi qui me regarde parler.
So, obviously, you came here in 55 first, and then you settled in 1957. How do you feel in Britain after such a long length of time?
Moi venu avant ça, avant 55. Moi suis venu ici, là, moi 52 ou 53.
Okay. Do you think that the Creole language is dying out, and why?
Moi regarde ouais c'est enfin nous pas apprendre ni pas parler. Ou bien dit maman même supposé qu'à parler parce que il a blâmé nous, il dit nous pas montrer nous pas répondre apprendre. Peut-être c'est faute nous voir tout. Mais il est mort. Ou supposé parler, il avait montré ça qui pas connaître le palais.
Okay. Let's see. How is the culture over there?
Pardon?
How is the culture over there in Dominica?
Well,
What would you do on a normal day?
quand actuellement, moi, un homme, je vais marcher up and down, marcher, aller vivre, manger, et bien aller bien. Ça doit faire encore mon virage. Hein.
Is it always lovely weather?
Tout ça. Là, la pluie, vous pouvez taper de la même manière, hein. Si c'est pas une, c'est l'autre. Si pas ni la pluie, vous pouvez taper le soleil.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet, that's why. I still...
Pardon, comment changer les bagages?
I do need to get there. But our language is beautiful, isn't it?
Qui ça qui langue? Qui ça qui langage ou? Ou pas dominicien ou ça? Ou pas dominicien? Ou c'est anglais? Ou marre mon là?
Thank you.
Ou pas dominicien? Ou pas dominicien? Ou c'est des enfants dominiciens? Ou pas dominicien? Faut quand même aller là.
That was a good one.
I'm sorry.
Good? Okay. All right then. So you know about the breadfruit here? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, this one is a good one. All right, see you later.
Yeah, but look at it. It looks as if it's on here. Yeah, but what about this here?
Okay. Sorry? Oh, no worries. That's being nosy. Stay here. Which platform is it? Where is that? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll meet you in front of platform 10, okay?
This is a security announcement reminding passengers to keep a watchful eye on their luggage and personal belongings at all times. Unattended luggage can cause unnecessary security alerts.
How was it growing up with Creole-speaking parents?
We felt sometimes that not even felt, they stopped us. Well, more mummy, your granny, she more or less stopped us from learning the language. I mean, it was constantly around us. Constantly. I mean, most of the people, when they conversed, and there was a lot of socializing amongst the people, they used to have lots of visitors. and they used to meet people and they used to converse. And being a small child, well, to me, my recollection is that you always felt as if you were left out of things.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
You couldn't converse. You couldn't say anything. Even if you understood, which we didn't, we couldn't sort of like partake in anything. And I mean, we were sort of like we were made to feel as if, oh, you shouldn't be in here. When we're talking big people, it's big people conversation, so we had to come out.
Yeah, it's almost as if it was their own secret language, and we weren't allowed to know it. We weren't allowed to even try and understand it or speak it. They just wanted us to speak the English language.
Yes.
And sometimes we did wonder, well, I personally wondered whether they were ashamed of it, and sometimes I got the impression that they saw it as a sort of almost like a second-class language, you know, and it wasn't good enough for them to teach their children.
Not realising that how it would have been beneficial for us as we got older and started going to secondary schools. It would have sort of like put us on a basic level of learning French, because even though it's a sort of like a different dialect, there are still connotations of French in there. I mean, one of our uncles, Uncle Sonny Boy, he could converse with somebody who came from France. He could speak French. So did.
Can I cut that? Are we allowed to say names?
Yeah. Okay. And your granddad's cousin, your granddad's late cousin, he could speak French. So it's a shame really that how, as we've got older, you know, it's only now we're aware of the language, and obviously it will probably die out with us if we don't pass it on to your generation.
The unfortunate thing is, I mean, I've got children and they're totally not interested in the language whatsoever. They don't want to know, they're not interested. Apart from maybe my elders, but the others are just not interested, which is, I think, quite a shame, because it's part of their heritage, you know, and I think it's something that they should try and become involved in, you know, and to know about, you know, because it's part of them. So it would be good for them to know, or even to the level of understanding, because for me, going to school and listening to my parents and picking up some of the language, it did actually help with French at school.
Yes.
So I did particularly well in French, simply because that a lot of the phrases or the words were very much similar to the French spoken language. So yeah, so it did help a lot in school.
Okay. So with the fact that both of you're not totally able to speak the language, do you feel that there's limitation of not being able to speak the language, Kweyol, and why?
Oh yes. I mean, as I said earlier, you know, with making lots of friends who came from Dominica and St. Lucia, particularly St. Lucia, and that's how I've gained some more an understanding of the language. Not being able to converse with them, I felt sort of like inferior. That I think that the limitations were is that I couldn't converse with my peers, and it did make me feel as if it was stupid, really. You know, your parents are Dominican, oh, how come you can't speak patois? You know? I don't know about you.
Yeah, I had some of my friends, I had a mixture of friends, and some of them speaking from St. Lucia speak patois, and I used to try and speak the language, and I got laughed at because obviously, you know, they spoke it so fluently, and then me trying, they said, oh, I've got a heavy tongue, and so I got laughed at. So sort of gave that up, you know, and I said, well, our parents never taught it to us, you know, so that's why we can't actually speak it, which I think sometimes for me, I felt it would have been good to be able to speak the language with my friends from St. Lucia, Dominica, especially if you don't want anybody else to understand your conversation and what you're talking about, you know. However, understanding the language a lot more was able to go on the bus and hear conversation and could understand it, but not obviously speak it fluently,
Yeah.
but could still understand it.
Yes, yes.
You know, yeah. But it would have been, I think it would have been a lot better if we could actually converse with somebody
Yeah.
in the language. And sometimes it could be actually helpful, you know, to other people if we could converse, because we don't know, some people, when they hear a language that somebody could converse in their own language, are more than likely to open up, you know, and speak to you, you know, with a language that they're familiar with, but couldn't do that.
And
the mouth.
And the mouth.
That's
Filming.
Yeah.
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 That's what
Okay, yeah.
it is.
I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Okay.
Okay, can you hear them? Because I can hear them.
Who?
Them up next door.
Out there.
I can't hear it on here yet. I would have to replay it. But the last 3 questions. Do you feel that it would benefit young children today to pick up the language?
When you say young children, do you mean children of Dominican and St. Lucian parent descent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely, because it's our heritage.
Yeah.
It is. And as I said earlier on, I believe that how without our input, it's a language that's sorely going to die out eventually.
But it's not only that, but it's a well-known fact that children with dual language are quicker to learn things as well, because obviously they speak, you know, their natural language, and then they quickly switch to whatever language that they may have to learn, like English or whatever other language that they do. So it actually, because the brain works a lot quicker because you have to switch from language to language. So yes, I think if they learnt Creole, yes, or whatever, another language, any other language could be, but yes, in a sense, Creole, it would benefit them, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What phrases have you picked up, and which ones do you know already?
Ça qu'a fait? Mon bien. Ola ukale.
Olukale.
Ola ukale. Yeah.
Mie jeune fille.
Yes.
And a petit garçon. That's almost French, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, see? You understood that, didn't you? Yeah.
Or as Mummy would used to say, ça quetone.
It's a swear word. And do you think there needs to be more coverage on it? We see a lot of coverage on sometimes Jamaica, Barbados, you know, but we don't really see as much as we'd like to on Kweyol. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh yes, definitely. I think, but that's down to us as a community. It's for us to sort of like bring it forward and make, especially the younger people, let them know that there is something out there for them. Particularly with Dominican and St. Lucian community, the only thing that they know of are sort of like when they have dances, like associations, when they all get together. That's the only time that you will hear a large congregation of people conversing in that particular language. Or like, for example, there are certain people that I know of who are quite high up, and they know the high commissioners and so forth and so forth. They have meetings, that sort of thing. If we can get them on board then and promote it, then yes, definitely. Then the youngsters will get to hear about it, but it's down from the lower end to work the way up.
Any thoughts? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.